Hey guys, I'm Chef D-Max. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're gonna do chimichurri. Such a simple condiment for meats, fish. It's amazing. So it's very simple. You're gonna learn it really quick. Stay with me. Click subscribe if you're not doing that. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video and ring that bell and I'll send you new stuff coming up, okay? So I'll see you back soon. Hey guys, all right, today we're gonna do this simple chimichurri. Basic ingredients, there's tons of different variations. What I like about chimichurri is I don't like when people get in their mind what a chimichurri is. Basically, it's this savory vinaigrette that balances acidity, whether it's citrusy with lemon or lime, and then it's got vinegar in it, and then herbal, all this herbaceous stuff going on, whether you have dill in it or cilantro or basil or parsley, whatever you're putting in it. It doesn't matter. We don't have to say this is a chimichurri and it's only from Argentina and it's gonna have these ingredients. No. It's the basic idea of a sauce that's got a balance of acidity, herbaceousness, earthiness, spiciness, saltiness. It's just great. And this condiment goes so nice with meat and fish. You're gonna love it. So let's get started. So I did mine today and what I had around in the kitchen. So for my spice, I had a fresno pepper. Now normally I cut the outsides of the fresno pepper for things. I don't use the seeds, but because I only have one and I want this to be spicy, I'm gonna leave the whole one in there. So what I'm gonna do first is take this pepper, and I'm not gonna cut the seed packet out, which is, you'll see me normally do, right? And I'm gonna cut this in slices like this, right through this seed pack. I'm doing it carefully. I don't want these seeds to go all over the kitchen. But I do want to cut them up and put them in there because they add a lot to this dish. So I'm going to just slice this like this, okay? And then I'm going to lay these flat, okay? Actually, I can lay it like this. And I'm going to just rock my knife and kind of dice these up and move this basil out of the way here. Give yourself plenty of room to work, right? And then I'll do the same with this here. Long, thin kind of strips here. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to cut it the other way like this. Now, what I want to do is I want to cut this really small because I don't want people getting any big chunks of pepper in one bite, right? You want to get everything kind of minced up to a fine mince. Now, we don't want it to a paste, but we do want it to a mince, right? So you can see what this looks like. So you can just rough chop it like this, and you get this really fine mince of pepper. See that? Okay, good. So I'm gonna take my spatula here thing and get this, all the pieces of that. See all the seeds, everything that's in there, right? And I'm just gonna add a little olive oil into that right now to get it started. You see how good extra virgin olive oil. Don't use cheap olive oil. But I mean, some cultures don't use an expensive olive oil because they don't have it. They just use whatever oil they have. But I like to use really nice olive oil. So here I've got bunches, and I always buy my cilantro like with the stems on there in bunches. Really nice. You can get them a lot of times in good markets like that, and it stays longer, right? Because then I wrap them. Now this, you could use this for a sauce or a stock, but I'm just gonna put it aside there, and we're gonna take these kind of leaves. I don't pick the leaves on cilantro. Cilantro stems on the top part are very delicate. So they can be cut like I'm doing here, and they're not gonna add any type of heavy texture. If you get like big chunks like this, like I put that to the side, right? But my basic point is that you don't have to pick each cilantro leaf off of the stem in this. You can just cut some of the stems up in there too. Just not the hardy, heavy stems on the base, okay? Now I'm gonna come back and cut it the other way too. See how I always julienne one way and I come back the other way, and that way it gives me almost like a small dice of the leaf. Now this too, I cut it a little bit smaller. A lot of times I don't like to cut herbs really small. You'll see me put herbs in dishes and I don't cut them up super fine because I like, I like that to have the herb a little present, Now in here I'm gonna add my cilantro, okay? Super simple. And then I've got green onions here. So I've cleaned them really well. Always clean onions really well, but green onions really well because there can be dirt and stuff in them. So with this. This is going to be our onion piece. So I'm not going to put any, you won't see me put any like red onion. And a lot of times, I know Latin American cultures, they put a lot of red onion in their chimichurri. I like these green onions in here. And you know, I make actually one for the restaurant that's a green onion that I char first. So I take these green onions and I char it on the grill. And then once it's charred on the grill, I let them cool, and then I cut them up and I make a chimichurri from that. And it gives you a really cool charred flavor in your chimichurri. So, you know, it really isn't, you know, any particular way. Sometimes the peppers too. You want to char the peppers and peel them and put them in there. You want to put red bell peppers in. You want to char those and peel them and do that. It's great in there. If you want to, like we used to do in Texas, hatch chili in season. We would do ones that were kind of these roasted hatch chilies, and we made a chimichurri from that and did that with a big old Texas steak, and it was always amazing, right? So with this, we're just going to cut the onions smaller than those, than the kind of circles that we cut originally, right? I'm trying not to get this too far over my cutting board, but stuff always wants to fall on the ground when you're cutting, right? It's just the way it is. It's kitchen life. So here, I'm going to add my green onion, okay, like this. Okay, beautiful. Now, next, basil. Look, I've got beautiful basil here. So basil, I just picked this out of the garden. So all you do with this is just kind of pick the top leaves off, and then any kind of like heavy center leaves in the basil, you can just, you can watch. Now, normally I do what we call a chiffonade, which is like long, thin strips of this, but because this is going to get put in a chimichurri, and I'm not going to cut it a million ways, so it's not going to get, brown from how I'm cutting this, because I'm going to cut it in one direction this way, and I'm going to turn it in the other. You just don't want to cut basil too fine. It's kind of like mint like that. Mint and basil both get a little bit black when they've been cut too much. You know, it has to do with the chemistry inside the leaf that they have. So I'm going to julienne that like this, you can see. And then what I do is I just press it this way, and I turn my knife sideways this way and come back the other way. This way, it cuts the basil into like thinner, smaller pieces without like me having to really go in and cut it too small, mince it up too much, okay? And then I put that basil in there, okay? Now, so, you know, we're looking at a quarter cup of basil, a quarter cup of green onions. We're looking at, you know, hot chili. I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt. Should be nice and seasoned, okay? Okay, and then I'm going to put actually a little bit, I'm going to put a touch of smoked paprika. Why am I putting smoked? I usually don't like to put dry spice in this, but I put a touch of smoked paprika because it gives out a little smokiness, which I like in chimichurri. Sometimes that smokiness can come from like a grilled green onion or a roasted pepper, something like that. But I don't have that, so I'm going to use a little smoked. You don't have to do it at all. And then here I'm going to grind a lot of black peppercorn in there because I love black peppercorn in this. Even though this is not going to add spiciness, it's going to add like a flavor, black pepper flavor. It's not, black pepper to me isn't hot. Now with acidity, I'm going to add a little bit of, I'm just putting like I'm going to put more than that. I'm going to probably put, that was probably like a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Now, apple cider vinegar, why am I putting vinegar and lemon? Because I want to give both of those flavors, like the kind of deep acidity of a vinegar, and then that citrusiness of lemon. So next, though, let me do the garlic. So here I have some garlic, and I have like one of these little grating plates. You can buy these. They're really convenient when it comes to like ginger and garlic, because see how they mince up the garlic really small like this? It's beautiful, right? And then, you know, you have this beautiful paste. Now, one of the things that you guys are going to do at home, because you love, I love garlic, you're going to want to put like 8 cloves in here, and do not do that, okay? You want just enough garlic to say that it's there, right? And give it a little love, but you want it to be subtle enough where they can taste the other vegetables. So you can see this paste that I have now. I just put that paste right in there, okay? Don't go hog wild. That was like, I do 3 little cloves, but you can see here, I'm like, you know, leaving a little bit of the extra there, okay? So that's that. And then with this now, I'm gonna load this up with olive oil. Probably have to use the rest of this container. So this is gonna be like a cup of maybe probably a cup of olive oil in this. Yep. Okay. Now, with this, I just want to take it and mix this up like this. And I've got this beautiful herbal, peppery, spicy flavor. Now, I'm not done yet. I got to add my lemon or my lemon juice. So it's a squeeze of, I'm going to use 1.5 lemons because I want it a little bit lemony. Okay, so there's 1.5. And this lasts, you know, we're going to put this in a little jar. It's going to last me for a while. There we go. We don't want to get any seeds in there. Somebody's going to eat a seed thinking it's a pepper and break their tooth. All right, let me wash my hands real quick. Okay, I'm back and I'm like going to just take this chimichurri. I've got a little mason jar here. What I want to do first before I jar this up is taste it, right? You got to make sure it's good. Now, when you're tasting it at this point, it's not going to be as developed as when you let this sit for a while. The lemon, the salt, is going to draw the water out of the vegetables in there and the herbs in there. They're going to all meld together, and that's when it's going to be good. So I would recommend making this the day before. You're going to serve it. You can make it a couple hours before, but you need enough time for the salt and acidity in there to break down the vegetables. So to me, I'm going to put a touch more salt. It's got plenty of spice, so I'm not putting any more pepper or paprika. It's got enough garlic. And then what I do is just put this in my mason jar like this. Put all my herbs in there. And we're going to make sure this thing is full of oil. That's the main thing. It needs to be full. And this is going to be a little bit more than I need. That'll be for my lunch, I guess, today, right? So with this, that's it. Well, let me take a little of that out because it's going to be too much. But you can see, perfect. I'm going to put a lid on this. This is going to go in the fridge. That'll last me for 2 weeks, 3 weeks in the fridge. Yeah, your herb might start to get a little bit off green, but it's going to be beautiful and it lasts me for a little while in there. As long as there's plenty of olive oil and you keep it refrigerated, it's amazing. So I hope you try this. Grill out a piece of chicken, put some of this on top, have some nice grilled vegetables with it. Amazing dinner. And this is a condiment you can put in the fridge and have and use it on steaks, fish, chicken. Pork. It's really great on pork actually too, pork chops. So enjoy it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you back in my kitchen soon. I'm Chef Teen Max.